Hey, welcome back to Sports Around the 313 with Triple G. And today, we don't have Double A with us, but I want to give him a shout out. Double A, hope you're doing all right out there. Watch the show. We're going to do a good one today. Listen, I got three names that come to mind. King Kong Bundy, Ted Lindsay, and Lulu Harwell. Okay, these three names are well known in the 313. And in the last week or so, these three people passed away. Let me start with Ted Lindsay, Detroit Red Wing, unbelievable player. He was on the production line with Gordie Howe and Sid Abel years ago, won many Stanley Cups with the Detroit Red Wings. Terrible Ted, they called him. Great guy, wasn't a big guy, but he played hockey like a tank out there. Unbelievable. He was so great, and we're going to miss him. He passed away this past week in his 90s, lived a hell of a life. Ted, score some goals up in heaven, brother. Now, Lulu Harwell. Okay, you probably, maybe you don't know the relationship here or the significance, but Lulu Harwell was the wife of Ernie Harwell. Ernie Harwell was the longtime Detroit Tigers broadcaster. I don't know how many years he broadcasted Tiger games. I remember when I was little listening to him, probably 40 plus years. Icon in the Detroit sports area, definitely a Detroit Tiger lifer. Ernie passed away a few years back, and his wife, and he was in his 90s. His wife just passed away a week or so ago, 99 years old. Let's hope that Lulu and Ernie are joined together again. Now, King Kong Bundy, not really a Detroit guy, but he was the big-time wrestler. A lot of you remember him when they did some of the big wrestling matches back in Detroit at the Silverdome, and then another one where he was in a cage match with Hulk Hogan. Of course, he lost it. WWF, WWE, all these big-time wrestlers. Anyway, King Kong Bundy was a big one. Had a lot of those little dolls out there that the kids got, and so on and so forth. Anyway, he passed away. I think he was age 61 this past week. You know, that's a sad situation because a lot of the good wrestlers are gone now, and I don't know who's coming up to take their place. But at any rate, those are the three names. You know, bless them and hope everything goes well for their families as well. Okay, let's start in. Okay, my favorite Free Press writers, maybe 4 or 5 of the writers in the last couple weeks, they took a poll with each writer, and the question was this: what Detroit professional sports team, and I'm saying professional sports team, I'm talking about the Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions, Detroit Red Wings, and the Detroit Pistons, those 4 teams, what team will be the next Detroit professional sports team to win a championship? Okay, now I'm not talking about making the playoffs. I'm talking, they want to know who is going to be the next Detroit team to win an actual championship. Okay, so they were all polled. They all came up with different answers, various answers. Some picked the Red Wings, some picked the Lions, some picked the Tigers, and some picked the Pistons, okay? It was all across the board. The different writers had different opinions as to why they thought, the team they picked would win the championship, okay, the next championship. So I decided to get on this as well. I didn't get a phone call from these guys, but I'm going to give you my opinion anyway, okay? So, all right, let's start off with the Detroit Lions. Will they win a championship? Will they be the next team to win a championship in Detroit? No, they will not. My reasons? Look, they went 6-10 last year after I thought they were going to go 10-6. I really blew that. But in regards to that, they got a lot of ways to go. They've never won a Super Bowl. They've been in the playoffs a couple times. Will they make it to a Super Bowl? I hope so in my lifetime, but I don't think the Lions, especially with the general manager they have now and the ownership, the Ford family ownership, I don't think they're going to make it to the first championship for one of our 4 sports teams. So the Lions, out. Okay? Next, Detroit Tigers. Okay, the Tigers are rebuilding. Everybody knows it. Management knows it. Chris Ilitch, the owner now, knows it. And they all admit it. They're rebuilding. They're bringing in, high-priced, high-ranking rookies that they've drafted, so on and so forth. I like the rebuilding program. I just hope that they continue down this way and maybe down the road add a few free agents in a couple years. Will the Tigers be the next sports team in Detroit to win a championship? No, they will not. Okay, they're a ways away. Now, the Detroit Pistons. Well, last we talked, they were in a huge losing streak. Since then, they've come out of that streak. They dug themselves a hole. Now they got to fill that hole with a lot of dirt. Okay, but will they win a championship? You know what? I would like to say yes, but there's so much talent out there. Those teams in the East where they at the Eastern Conference, you got Philadelphia, Toronto, and Milwaukee now. Geez, they're kicking ass. I just don't see the Pistons winning a championship anytime soon, which is unfortunate because they got some pretty good damn players. Okay, let's move on. The Red Wings, all right, the last of the 4 professional teams. I've got to pick the Red Wings, obviously, because I just blew off 3 other teams. So you already know, if you do the math, that I'm going to pick the Red Wings. But why am I going to pick the Red Wings? Well, the Red Wings have been picking up high-end draft picks for a while. They have some good veterans on the team, but they're getting these kids up and running and up to speed, and they got some good young players coming up. And this year, they're probably going to get another high draft pick. So I would have to say, out of the 4 teams, the Red Wings made the playoffs 25 years in a row. They're going to miss it for the 3rd year, but 25 years in a row. They've always had pretty good personnel, and I think that, give it a little more time, and I can't say, I'm not going to say a year or 2 or whatever, because I can't predict that. No sports writer can predict that. But I do believe that the Detroit Red Wings will be the next Detroit professional sports team to win a championship. And when I say championship in hockey, you're talking about the Stanley Cups. Okay, they're going to hoist the Stanley Cup and before any other professional team wins their championship. So that's where we're at with that. So there's my take on that. But now I'm going to elaborate a little bit. Okay, the writers picked who would win the first championship. Okay, well, I'm going to add a little bit to that. I'm going to say what Detroit professional sports team will be the next team to make the playoffs. Okay, that's a legitimate question. Okay, championships are hard to come by. Playoffs shouldn't be too bad. But let's go backtrack. We'll start again. Detroit Lions make the playoffs. No, they're not going to make the playoffs. Okay, they were 6-10 last year. Even if they went, I don't know. I can't even say with the Lions. They pissed me off so damn much that who knows how can you predict what they're going to do? They could end up going all the way next year, but it would shock the hell out of me. So no, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs in the near future. Let's go to baseball. Wow, they're really stacked up in the AL Central. They're predicting the Tigers this year to come in last place in the Central, which last year they came in 3rd place ahead of 2 other teams. I put them in 3rd place again. They're not going to win. It's going to be a tough road to go. I mean, all these big-time free agents that these other teams just signed, and the Tigers are looking more to discard players than to add players. So they're not going to make the playoffs. All right, who do we got left? Let's see. Red Wings? Let's take the Red Wings first. Red Wings, will they make the playoffs soon? They're not going to do it this year. That's 3 years in a row where they're not going to make the playoffs. Next year, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Red Wings later on down the road in the show. So let's just say, no, they're not going to make the playoffs in the near future. That leaves with 1 team left. Do the math again. This time it's the Pistons. The Detroit Pistons will be the next Detroit professional sports team to make the playoffs. When will they do this? This year. They're going to do it this year. The reason is they're on a winning streak right now. They're playing well together. They're finally getting the new coach's system. These guys are just, Drummond is playing off the charts. I mean, he's out of this world. Him and Blake Griffin, then you got the younger players that are coming around kicking ass right now, Ish Smith and those guys. I'm telling you, I think they're going to make the playoffs. Right now, the first 8 teams in each division make the playoffs. I think about in January, they were like 5 or 6 games off below 500. Now, they're like 1 or 2 games above 500, but they're in the 6th slot, tied with the New Jersey Nets. So they're in a position right now where there's the 6th spot, then the 7th and the 8th. So they're right in the mix right now, and they're looking pretty solid, okay? They got a couple of back-to-back games coming with the Bulls. Let's hope that that's not a letdown and they continue to play well. They've just really, really been playing well, and I'm very happy for him and the coach and the owner. So the Pistons will make the playoffs, and it'll be this year. I don't know how far they're going to go. If they're 6th, they might play Indiana. If they're 7th, they might play Toronto in the first round. I'd love to see them get past the first round. That would be a joy for the city of Detroit and for the Detroit Pistons organization. Okay, so enough said about all the polls and all the opinions and everything. Now I want to talk about something, and it's really gnawing on me like crazy. The Detroit Red Wing organization. I want to talk about this team, and I want to devote the rest of this episode to the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, first of all, the Detroit Red Wings, as you can see here, I've got Red Wing memorabilia up here. The last time they won a Stanley Cup was 2008. Okay, that with my math, that tells me it's about 11 years ago. Okay, I've harped on this for a long time. The Red Wings had an 8-game losing streak, finally snapped last night where they beat the New York Rangers, okay, in overtime. But they lost 8 in a row. A little over a week ago, they lost such an embarrassing game, 8-1, 8-1 at home. I mean, some of the sports writers are writing lazy, not into the game, their heads are somewhere else, no effort. I mean, there's all kinds of adjectives that sports writers and people in the sports industry are calling the Red Wings, and it all boils down to one thing. And you know, I've talked about this for the last couple years, and I'm really getting tired of talking about it, but I think it's time for a freaking change, okay? Jeff Blashill, the coach of the Red Wings. Okay, well, there was talk this past week in the middle of this 8-game losing streak, the general manager was talking about extending his contract. Are you freaking kidding me? Why would you extend his contract when they're playing the worst hockey that I've seen a Red Wing team play in 26 or 27 years? These guys make mistakes. They're young, yes, but they're making mistakes, the same mistakes over and over. They're not disciplined. They're taking penalties. They're not covering the area they're supposed to be in. The defense is coughing up the freaking puck. They're not. And our goalie, Jimmy Howard, Jesus, 3 games in a row in that 8-game losing streak, he was pulled in the first period because he let in I don't know how many goals. 1 minute into a game, he gave up a goal after 2 shots. I don't know what the hell's going on. Of course, his thing in the paper was, I've kind of figured it out. What do you mean you kind of figured it out? You're not a rookie. You've been around the block too many times, Jimmy Howard. You know, get your shit together. Is this guy over the hill? I think he is. But they don't have any good goalie backups. All the moves they make in the draft and everything else, why the hell don't they have somebody they can bring in? There's goalies that are rookies for some of these teams like Philly and Boston and that are in their first year in the NHL and they're kicking ass. Where do they find these goalies? Why can't the scouts for the Red Wings find these goalies? So my disappointment is, you know, bring in a coach that knows what the hell they're doing. This is a guy that coached them in the minor leagues in Grand Rapids. Then he was elevated when Babcock left for Toronto. Now he's coaching the Red Wings in his 3rd year. Okay, I think he's maybe a good assistant coach, which he was with Babcock for a year. But believe me, to me, I watch this team, and I'm telling you, game after game after game, these guys are not listening to this guy. It's going one ear and out the other with these young players. They need a Scotty Bowman type coach that's going to kick some ass, pound the freaking goddamn boards, and say, get the hell out there and do what you're supposed to do, or you're out of here. All he keeps doing is praising these players. Well, we're trying. Dylan Larkin is, he's our best player. Well, you know what? Maybe he is your best player, but, spread the love around to some of the other players. Maybe they're getting pissed off. That's all you ever do in the freaking headlines is talk about Dylan Larkin. I love Dylan Larkin. Don't get me wrong. But you got a lot of other players on the team you need to be praising, not just him all the time. So Jeff Blashill, they want to extend his contract. Holy shit, are you guys crazy? Chris Ilitch, the owner, he was on my good list. My good list. Nice list at Christmas time. Okay, he owns the Tigers. Admits the other day that, they were down to spring training. Yeah, we're rebuilding. We're going to do the best we can, but we got to be fiscally responsible. His dad wasn't fiscally responsible. His dad wanted to win, and he signed free agents, and they won. The Red Wings, Chris Ilitch, get involved with this team. I don't understand it. Why would you keep the general manager? Why would you keep this coach? Okay, little sidebar here. Steve Yzerman resigned his post as a general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning this past few months. When his contract is up June 1st, where do you think Steve Yzerman is going to go? What would you, as a fan, like to see happen? I'm a fan, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I feel. They need to get Steve Yzerman up here, take over as a general manager, run this damn show, and let him hire a coach that he feels is going to be able to run this damn team in and get to the playoffs. Get Steve Yzerman back. Groom him, do whatever. He doesn't even need to be groomed. He was a general manager at Tampa Bay. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals with him. They've been in the playoffs. They got the best record in hockey right now. Get Steve Yzerman back involved with the Detroit Red Wings. Chris Ilitch, please. I'm pleading to you. Get Steve Yzerman back here. Get rid of the other people that are here. They've been here too long, or some of them haven't been here long enough. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Make it freaking happen. Okay. Now, Red Wings, 2008, last Stanley Cup. They haven't done shit. Please make some moves. Get this organization going again. Make Detroit proud. These hockey fans are tough hockey fans. They love this team, and it hurts every time they go out there and they get their ass kicked big time, like 8-1, 6-4. It's like, I can't remember a Red Wing team that got beat that bad. I mean, I know I'm going back to the 8-1 game, but that was so embarrassing. It's like they weren't doing it. They were just like skating around like they didn't know what the hell was going on. These are professional hockey players? Seriously? Oh, God, it really hurts. At any rate, okay, I told you what I thought. I hope it happens soon. If you got any opinions on what I've said, hit my button. Let me know what you think or what you don't think, whatever you want to do, okay? That's it. Now get the hell out of here. Detroit,